Today we're going to talk about how to solve a system of equations using a couple different methods. So the first method we're going to use is the setting equal to method, which was method 1 that I introduced in class. So when you use the setting equal to method, what you need to do is make sure you get a variable by itself for both equations and then set them equal to each other. So I always like to get y by itself just because it's good practice. So for this first one here, we're going to get y by itself. So if I have 7x plus y equals 4, then to get the y by itself, I need to subtract this 7x. So I subtract it over to the other side, and now I have y equals 4 minus 7x. So that's the equation I'm going to use. So I can cross this one out now because I'm not going to use that, and I'm going to focus on this one. So I have y by itself here, but if I set it equal to, I have to make sure I get this y by itself. So I'm going to solve this second one for y. So I have negative 6x plus 5y equals negative 21. To get y by itself, I'm going to add the 6x over this time. So I have 5y equals negative 21 plus 6x. Now I have this 5 that's attached to the y, and it's attached because it's multiplied. So to undo multiplication, the inverse is division. So now I'm going to divide both sides by y. So now y equals negative 21 plus 6x in parentheses with the 5 on the bottom. So now I have two equations here. I'm not going to use this bottom one anymore. I have these two equations where y is by itself, and I'm going to set them equal to each other now because y is the same thing as y. So I have 4 minus 7x equals negative 21 plus 6x over 5. Now this fraction here, I have this 5 on the bottom, which is division, so to undo that, the inverse is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. Now you have to be careful because when you multiply this side by 5, you have to make sure that you distribute because this is a binomial. So that's going to give me 20 minus 35x equals negative 21 plus 6x because this 5 over here is now gone. Now I just solve for x. So I'm going to add the 35 over to combine my like terms. So I get 20 equals negative 21 plus 41x. And then I add the 21 over. So 41 equals 41x. Again, I'm just combining my like terms. And now I divide. So I get 1 equals x. Now I'm not done because I've only solved for one variable, and if you'll notice we have two. We have an x and a y. So now that I know x is 1, what I'm going to do is plug it in. I have both of these solved for y already, so I just have to pick which one I want to use. This top one is definitely the easier one, so I'm going to plug it in there. So I have y equals 4 minus 7x. Well, if x is 1, I'm going to plug in 1 for x, and then if you put this in your calculator, 4 minus 7 is negative 3. So x is 1 and y is negative 3, and that's my answer. And that's how you can solve by setting the system equal to each other.